Maimar Harnim. The Masech Chulin Kufhei tells us that Maim Rishonim is a mitzvah. Washing before the bread, before eating bread, is a mitzvah. But Maimar Harnim Chova, but washing final waters before Birkat Hamazon is obligatory. Rashi explains, the Gemara explains, because of Melach Sdomit, because of the sodomite salt. Rashi says because the Chachamim commanded us to have salt on the table and to dip the bread into it, there might be salt on a person's hands. He might come to put it in his eyes, and the Gemara says that's what it means. The sodomite salt will blind the person's eyes, God forbid. So therefore, the person has to wash his hands before he does Birkat Hamazon, and he continues his meal. He ends his meal. Tosafot, he argues and he says that today we don't really have sodomite salt, so therefore it's not as obligatory as it used to be. Plus, he says that people don't have all the time salt. You don't always have salt on your table, and we don't have the same customs as dipping our fingers into salt like they used to. So therefore, he says it's not as obligatory. However, there is a Gemara in Masechet Brachot Daf Nun Gimel that says that the only reason for not the only reason for Maimar Harnim is because of the sodomite salt. The Gemara quotes the pasuk in Sefer Vayikra, "V'kedishtem." This is Maim Rishonim, V'yitim Kedushim. This is Maimar Harnim. It's a matter of holiness and cleanliness to wash your hands before you do Birkat Hamazon. So there's another reason of holiness and cleanliness to go and do Maimar Harnim. So therefore, the Rosh writes that even though to wash your hands is for cleanliness and holiness, that makes the Maimar Harnim a mitzvah, and because of the sodomite salt, so now it got a higher status. It's also chovah. It's also obligatory because of that, because of the danger involved. So even though the Tosafot would say that the only reason is because of the sodomite salt, there are Rishonim who learn that it's also because of cleanliness. So even if we don't have sodomite salt today, you still have to do it because of cleanliness and holiness. The Rambam, interestingly, says in the 6th chapter, Chod Brachot, he says that even though we don't have sodomite salt today, there might be salt that is similar to sodomite salt, and there might be other types of salt that will blind the person. So therefore, because of that, a person still has to do Maimar Harnim. The Rif writes that we have to do Maimar Harnim even if you eat on the table without salt. Let's say a person was stuck without salt, he dipped his bread into something else. We learned one long time ago that if you don't have salt, you at least should dip something else that gives taste to the bread. So what do you do over there? You still have to do Maimar Harnim, the Rif says. Why? Because the Chachamim made lo plug. In all situations you have to go, and they made no differentiation between cases. Everybody has to do Maimar Harnim. He quotes the Gemara in Masechet Chulin that we said that there's a story that because someone didn't do Netlat Yadayim for bread, somebody ate chochke, somebody ate hazir, somebody ate pig. The Gemara says there was a guy who was during a Jewish oppression. Jews were being oppressed. They were not allowed to practice religion. He used to run a restaurant. Whoever was non-Jewish, he would serve non-kosher. Whoever was Jewish, he would serve kosher secretly. And the way to know if you were Jewish and to serve you kosher was if he saw you washing Netlat Yadayim. This guy came, he didn't do Netlat Yadayim, so he thought he was a goy, and he gave him chochke, he gave him pig, so he ended up eating pig because he did not do Netlat Yadayim for bread. The Gemara says also a person died because they didn't do Maimar Harnim. The Gemara says a story, Meir Balanes and the Chachamim, they went staying in an inn, and some of the rabbis gave deposit to the innkeeper to make sure to keep it safe. Meir Balanes checked his name was Kidor, it wasn't good, he didn't like his name, so therefore he saw his name shows bad omens, so therefore he kept his items to him on his person. Ended up being that this innkeeper swindled them, and he tried to steal from them. The Rabbi Balanes says, "You see, I told you he doesn't have a good name." So then they got their money back by saying what he ate that day because he had lentils on his face, he had lentils on his mustache. And the Gemara says that the husband got so upset that the wife, they sent a messenger sent a messenger to get the money back from the wife. The wife was holding on to the money, and they said, "Your husband sent us because he told us a sign that he ate lentils today." So she believed him. She gave the money back, and because of this, the husband got so upset and he killed his wife. So ended up being, if he would have done Maimar Harnim, washed his hands and his mouth, and he wouldn't have the lentils on his mustache, so then that person wouldn't have died. So because somebody didn't do Maimar Harnim, ended up somebody died. So the Rif says because of this, all the Chachamim said in every situation you have to do Maimar Harnim. That's why Shulchan Aruch requires Siman Kuf Pei Aleph, that everybody has to do Maimar Harnim Chovah. It's an obligation. Even though in Sif Yud he says Yesh Omrim, some say Yesh Noagim, not to do Maimar Harnim. Many of our brothers Ashkenazim they don't do Maimar Harnim today, especially during the week. Why? Because they rely on the Tosafot. But according to Sfaradim, you have to do Maimar Harnim, both because we said the Rif says no plug, the Rambam says there's other salts that could blind us, the Rosh said because it's a cleanliness and holiness, but also because of the Kabbalah, because of the Arizal, revealed to us, the Kaf Haim brings it, that when a person's eating from his parnasah, from his meal, from his food, in Shamayim there's many angels prosecuting a person in that moment. He should choke and die, or God forbid, he doesn't deserve to enjoy from his food, from his parnasah, and the person's in judgment. So therefore, in order to placate and in order to dissipate this prosecution, if you give him a little bit of water, Mayim Achronim, then they will leave you alone, and it's proper to do this according to Kabbalah, to get the Sitra Achra to leave your table. So therefore it's a must, according to Kabbalah, to do it regardless if there's salt or not. So therefore Sfaradim always must do it during Shabbat, during the week, every time you eat bread and you do a Birkat Hamazon, you must do Mayim Achronim, both men and women. And in general, it's a good concept to learn. There's a concept called Mayim Achronim, meaning that in life, whenever you plan something, you want to do something, there's always going to be Yetzirah is going to try to take something. You make a big party, always something doesn't work out. You try to make a big, good thing for your friends and for your community and for your house and your family. You try to build your house, here and there something always bad happens. That's called Mayim Achronim. You have to give something to Sitra Achra. Nothing's perfect in this world, and everybody should be